Welcome to In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, your host and the CEO of Academia EDU, and as always, I'm delighted to be with you. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and rather intricate exploration from Dr. Saskia Kersenboom, presented as the 31st Gonda Lecture at the Royal Netherlands Academy of Arts and Sciences in Amsterdam. The title is Bhoga Shakti, the Silent Witness to the Life of Devadasis. Now, just to set the tone, what I'm sharing here today are the perspectives and findings from Dr. Kersenboom's lecture and paper. I'm here to present her ideas neutrally and always encourage you to think, question, and explore further on your own. Academic research is, after all, a conversation, not the final word. So, what's the core question or challenge at the heart of Dr. Kersenboom's paper? Well, it's essentially this: who is Bhoga Shakti? And what has been her relationship to the life and ritual role of the Devadasis, or temple dancers, in South Indian history? And why does this matter today? This may sound esoteric, but the paper is probing something much larger: how ritual traditions, gender, spirituality, and cultural memory intersect in the lived experiences of women who were, for centuries, vital agents in temple life, yet have vanished from that public sphere. Why should you, the listener, care? Because these are questions about whose stories get told, what traditions survive, and how history assigns value. Questions that definitely matter for anyone interested in culture, gender, or the transmission of knowledge. Let's jump into the heart of this research. Dr. Kersenboom takes us on a journey, literally through cycles of time and space across Tamil Nadu, from ancient sages to 20th century Devadasis, weaving together ritual manuals, poetry, oral histories, and detailed observations of temple festivals. Her method is both historical and ethnographic. That means she's looking at archival texts, but also drawing from real people and living traditions. At the center of everything is Bhoga Shakti, a goddess whose presence, Kersenboom argues, has quietly anchored cycles of ritual and social life, even though she's almost invisible in mainstream accounts. She's the silent witness, not exactly a household name even among temple deities. Yet, as the research shows, she's invoked in the most crucial festival moments, embodying themes of well-being, happiness, fertility. But here's where things get concrete. The Devadasis, or Rudraganikas, as they were also known, aren't just performers or dancers for the gods. They're ritually empowered women, deeply embedded in multi-layered processes of the Mahotsava, or Great Temple Festival. Dr. Kersenboom uses detailed festival phases. She has these cycles, right? Sprouting, presence, contraction, dispelling, blessing, to walk us through how Bhoga Shakti is invoked, how the goddess and the Devadasis roles intertwine, and what rituals run the engine of this communal life. Let's focus on a couple of tangible examples. The Devadasis carried the good earth around the village, nurtured sacred seeds, performed protective lamp rituals, and danced the triple rotation of the pot lamp, symbolically burning away all negativity. This isn't just performance. It's a core contribution to the community's well-being, believed, at least by tradition, to bring happiness for the world. And yes, Kersenboom notes the festival's aim is called Jagat Shubham, or worldly happiness. The rituals span from the purely devotional, like singing centuries-old Tamil poetry, to frankly, very material acts like preparing medicines, powders, decorating altars, and even securing ritual boundaries by tying protective threads. And then, a turning point after Indian independence and the Devadasi Act of 1947, these public roles were erased by law. The hereditary skills, ritual knowledge, and embodied practice of the Devadasis were interrupted. Dr. Kersenboom asks, what do we lose when living expertise, handed down for centuries, is cut off? Who inherits these rituals, and what happens to the wisdom encoded in dance steps, chants, and flowers offered at dusk? Big questions, right? And there's a sort of side note here. Has anyone else ever just gotten lost in a temple festival with all its sounds and scents and realized you didn't actually know what was happening but felt oddly at home anyway? Maybe that's a universal human thing. Sometimes you don't need to know, you can just witness, just an aside. Anyway, why might all this matter to you as a listener today? Well, the case of Bhoga Shakti and the Devadasis isn't just about a specific time or place. It's a kind of microcosm about cultural memory. Whose voices endure? What happens when a society decides that a tradition or its bearers are obsolete? For anyone reflecting on heritage, gender, performance, or the preservation of subtle knowledge, this paper brings up reflections to chew on. Wrapping up, Dr. Kirsenboom's research doesn't offer simple answers. Instead, she lays out cycles, transformations, and the silent power of presence, whether that be a goddess, a dancer, or their shared work for community well-being. Remember, I'm not endorsing the view, just presenting it. The story of Bhoga Shakti and the Divadasis is an invitation to look again at forgotten roles, to ask what parts of our own culture are silent witnesses, which ones matter, and who gets to decide. Thanks so much for listening with me today. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and don't forget that academic research is just one, sometimes very poetic, way to reflect on our world. Until next time, this is Richard Price, signing off from In Depth with Academia.